Ever wish you could just hit the reset button on parenting? Maybe you've been doing your best to stay calm, but the meltdowns, defiance, or emotional outbursts keep wearing you down, and you just need something fresh. Well, friend, you're in the right place. Welcome to Season 2 of the Calm Connection Parenting Podcast, a new season of hope, heart, and hands-on strategies for raising emotionally intense kids with peace and purpose. I'm so glad you're here today for a new monthly feature. Some very relevant listener questions. You won't want to miss this. Ever feel like one meltdown turns your day upside down? Are you walking on eggshells with emotions and challenging behaviors? Need peace in your home? You're in the right place. I'm Jami, mom of 7, professional counselor and parent coach. I've learned how to turn chaos into calm, stop meltdowns, and enjoy time as a family. If you're looking for effective tools, practical ways to connect with your uniquely wired child, and parenting tools that align with faith and family values, you've found it. So reheat that coffee, start that laundry fluffing again, and let's jump in. Welcome to the Calm Connection Parenting Podcast. Can you believe this is episode 50? What a journey this has been. From our very first episode to celebrating the 1-year anniversary together, I have been so humbled by how this community has grown and how God continues to use these conversations to reach families all over the world. This new season is all about you, the parent who's in the trenches, craving more calm, more connection, and yes, more clarity. You want to know what to do. We're going deeper this season, answering your questions and offering real-life strategies that can meet you and your family right where you are. Before we dive in, I just want to pause and say thank you. Your encouragement and your feedback help keep this podcast going. I recently received a message from a listener that I just have to share because it reminded me of a special reason we're here doing this together. Happy anniversary! I wanted to let you know that your podcasts and your overwhelming warmth and enthusiasm are what get me through the day and through the difficult times. Thank you for going on this journey with me while I do it completely on my own. I know your podcast is there to help me every step of the way. Thank you. Lisa Marie, a happy podcast listener. Lisa Marie, if you're listening, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much your words mean to me. Every time you guys stop and leave a review, I take time to read those and appreciate them. And if you haven't already, Lisa Marie, be sure to get in that Calm Connection Parenting Facebook group because I believe you may have been a winner of the Calm Connection Program scholarship, so I don't want you to miss out on that. When I read messages like the one that Lisa Marie sent, it reminds me how powerful it is just to know we're not alone. We're not alone in this journey. Parenting an emotionally intense child can feel isolating, but honestly, when we come together and we share our stories, we find strength and understanding that we might not know we even had. If you've ever felt like you're walking this road alone, I want you to know you're not. That's what this community right here is all about: learning, growing, and finding calm together. And that's exactly what I want to build even more of in this new season: connection, conversation, and community. So you might take just a minute to enjoy the new season podcast cover, as well as pay attention to those new jingles, intros, and outros that are playing. And of course, looking for this new feature. Yes, I'm devoting one podcast each month to answering more real-life questions from parents, just like you, the kind of honest, heartfelt questions that can help us all learn and grow together. If there's something you'd like for me to address on the podcast, you can post it in the Calm Connection Parenting Facebook group. Or if you'd rather do it privately, just send your question to Jami at parentingwithpersonality.com. Now be sure to put podcast question in the subject line so I don't miss it. I just might feature your question on a future episode. Don't worry, no names needed. And I can give you some practical feedback that might help you move forward with more calm and confidence. Remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question. If you have a question, I can almost assure you someone else has that same question too. So speaking of questions, let's dive into a couple of those parent questions today. Our family just doesn't understand. They try to, but they just can't let go of things that we sometimes have to with our child. I want to communicate with them so that they will not force our child to do certain things, especially things I know can trigger her. Things like turning off the TV or being told to go take a shower. How can I explain this to them? I want them to focus on what she can do or will do on a good day. And if they want our child to try something new, how can I let them know when they need to just let it go, that it's not going to work? Of course, we are working on all of the problems and trying to utilize a Plan B approach, but we can only work on so many things at once. What do we do? Friend, this question is so real, and I know so many of you listening have felt this exact frustration. It can be so hard when extended family members love your child but don't fully understand what's going on underneath the surface. They interact with your child and maybe they even want to help with your child, but oftentimes their efforts turn sour really fast. And then you're left with the overwhelm and oftentimes trying to clean things up behind those meltdowns or relationships that end up paying the price and feeling strained because of those interactions. First of all, give yourself permission to not have to convince everyone. Your goal isn't to defend your parenting. It's to invite understanding through calm communication. So here are a few ideas that just might help. First off, start with framing empathy. You might try saying something like, I know it looks like she's refusing, but sometimes when she's overwhelmed, her brain has a hard time switching gears. We're working on it, but right now what helps most is just staying calm so she can count on that. So if she's struggling in those moments, you might need to approach her like you would if someone was feeling overwhelmed and shutting down. You might offer her options. And if that doesn't work, you might need to let it go until she isn't overwhelmed or even another day. You see, this kind of dialogue helps frame how they might need to understand your child better. Second, when you approach them, use we language. It turns what might sound like, or honestly might even really be correction, into collaboration instead. And that is oftentimes so much easier for others to accept. You might say something like, we've noticed that sudden changes are hard for her, so we're helping her practice flexibility a little at a time. But when she's really tired or worn out, that flexibility might not happen so well. Next, redirect focus to what does work. You might say something like, she does better when she gets a few minutes warning. Would you help by giving her a 2-minute or 5-minute heads up before asking her to turn the TV off? Or you might say something like this. Sometimes we offer choices to help her engage better, like, would you like to turn the TV off or would you like me to? Would you like to take your shower before dinner or after dinner? We find that giving her options can help her be more cooperative. And it's okay to set boundaries with grace and understanding. This is the final point, but so important. So you might say something like this: I really appreciate how much you care. We're following a plan with her therapist right now, and this is what's best for where she's at. In fact, I always give my coaching clients permission to just blame me. I tell them, as you're utilizing new tools or skills, you might find that some family members judge or disagree with what you're doing. But it is okay to say something like this: we are learning how to use some new tools with her, and our parenting coach suggests we try it this way, whatever that skill might be. Now, the truth is, family communication is ongoing. It's not a one-time talk and everything changes. So remember to keep it simple, stay calm, and trust that modeling patience, modeling these skills that you're learning, will often teach more to your family than a lecture or correction ever could. And the more educated you are on your child's needs and struggles, the better you will be able to help others understand them too. Sometimes the more clear you are, the more clear they can be. And more clearly, they can see how you might know what you're doing. Remember, God gave you this child for a reason. He's also gifted you with wisdom, discernment, and the insight that others might not have or see. So stand confident in that. You know your child best, and you're doing the best you can. Now, you might be listening and thinking, actually, I'm not even sure I know what my child's issues are, let alone how to explain them to others. Well, you're not alone in that. In fact, that's why we work on this in the Calm Connection program. I'd like to take just a moment to share this. Parenting an emotionally intense child can feel complicated, like you're juggling meltdowns, defiance, and stress every single day. But it doesn't have to be that hard. Imagine this: the next time your child melts down, instead of spiraling into chaos, you know exactly how to respond with calm and confidence. Sounds good, right? Well, that's what the Calm Connection Parent Coaching Program is all about. In this program, I teach simple tools that you can use right in the moment. Tools that don't require hours of reading, expensive appointments, or complicated systems. I'll even show you ways to create calm in less time than it takes to reheat your coffee. Parenting with calm and confidence doesn't have to feel impossible. It can be easier than you think. Join me inside at calmconnectionparent.com and let's get you back on this parenting journey with calm, confidence, and connection. I'm guessing that first question was something you could probably relate to. How do I know? Well, let's just say it's one of the most common questions I hear. There are many families struggling through that. And here's another question I hear a lot. A curious and concerned parent asks, how do I even know if my child's emotions or behaviors are something worth seeing a doctor about? What if they laugh at me? What if they just tell me that it's simply my parenting, that I'm doing it wrong, or that it's all my fault? And how do I even know what to say or what questions to ask? I don't even know where to begin. Oh man, I feel this one deeply, because this question comes from both a place of love and fear. You're paying attention, you're noticing those patterns in your child's behavior, and you really want to do right by your child. But you're not sure what right is. But the fact that you're searching, that's what good parenting looks like. And while you notice something is off, maybe you can't even quite put your finger on it, or maybe you don't even know if you can articulate it well enough to a professional to even make sense. I get that. I remember being there when I was in that same situation with our own child. So maybe this is helpful. You might know to seek help if your child's emotions or behaviors are consistently interfering with daily life, at school, home, with relationships. That's your signal to check in with a professional. And you might notice some things like daily meltdowns that seem out of proportion, either to the issue or what sets them off, or the amount of time it takes to get them through it and regulate it again. You may notice trouble calming down even with your help. You may see that there's difficulty following routines, maybe bedtime, maybe making transitions, meal times, or homework. Maybe it's even the start of your day. Also, if your child's behaviors and emotions are consistently affecting your marriage, your family, and your other children, yes, those are all signs too. Fostering an environment of peace and love is important for our entire family. So when and if this isn't happening, we need to do some exploring and make some changes. These aren't signs that you're failing. They're just signs that your child may need more support. And when you go to the doctor, remember this. Good professionals partner with parents. They don't blame them. Bring your notes, examples, your observations, because you are your child's best advocate. Trust your gut, and it's okay to ask for what you need. And if you don't feel heard or understood, it is completely okay to get a second opinion. You want to connect well with the professional that is helping you make these important decisions about your child and family. And I also want to add, it's so important to seek help from professionals who are in the know, current on those mental health issues, and they really do get it. I remember asking our pediatrician about our concern with the possibility of ADHD in our child. And the first thing he asked in return, well, how are their grades? When I indicated our child was a good student, getting all A's, he quickly dismissed the subject. Whoa, not so fast. Friends, can I just tell you that if their filter for how we discuss these mental health issues, many, many children are going to be lost in the shuffle. Because there are some very intelligent, very good students who have ADHD or mood disorders. There is so much more to understand and filter through. So if your doctor says this, it might indicate the need to see another professional who is in the know. You don't want a professional who is stuck in the old school way of looking at mental health issues like mood disorders or anxiety, ADHD, sensory processing, executive functioning. You need to have a professional who is up to date. Now, I might tell you, you might have a doctor that encourages you, or maybe even a counselor who encourages you to do some parent training. Please don't take this as an insult. Please don't take this that they are blaming you or that they are telling you that that's the problem. I know as a counseling professional that when we work with parents, this is often one of the first things that we recommend, but it can feel kind of bad on a raw mom heart. But this is the reason we suggest that. You see, you are the only thing you can control. You can't control your child. And the truth is, neurodiverse children oftentimes need different parenting methods. Not what you've already learned, not what you've already been using, maybe not even what your other 6 kiddos need. So when you take time to educate yourself on these new skills, that can be really effective in making change. And you are the one that can implement those changes. So please don't take that as a slight on you. It's encouragement for sending you on a path to get the support, the education the help and encouragement that you need for that journey. Now, that's exactly something we tackle in the Calm Connection program. We help parents organize what you're seeing in your child. We help you document triggers and feel prepared so that you are ready to talk to those professionals, whether it's a doctor or a counselor, so you can communicate what they might need to hear in order to better understand your child. Because let's face it, that short time you are in front of your child's doctor will fly by fast, and it will cost you a pretty penny. So the information you relay in those short 10 minutes might really make a big difference in the course and the options that your doctor presents. This is effective advocating, and it's good motivation to learn and be well prepared, because most generally they will ask you questions such as, when does it happen? What are the triggers? How long does it last? And if you are one step prepared to answer those already, you will pay for less appointments to come back and then discuss those things. So walking in prepared and ready is so crucial. One of the moms I worked with, Mickey, was in this exact situation. She came into the Calm Connection program just before they took their child to the doctor, and together we helped her gather information, prepare questions, and build her confidence for that appointment. She went into that appointment well educated, ready to present the information that was most necessary, and ready and able to advocate, which probably saved her money, as she didn't have to go back repeated times, and saved her some time and energy as well. I remember after that appointment, she tearfully shared her excitement that she was able to leave the appointment feeling heard and understood. She was able to get just what they needed and the added confidence to advocate with the school next, and she did, with some great results. I just love that. I love watching parents feel empowered as they gain understanding and learn to advocate. And honestly, education about your child's personality, their strengths, their struggles, their emotional needs, their sensory issues, maybe mental health issues, executive functioning difficulties, this is all a part of the big picture. Each of those are just puzzle pieces that you can put together to see the big picture. And I truly love helping parents put these pieces together to discover something wonderful on the other side. Here's what Mickey shared after being in the Calm Connection program. This program was life-changing. I came in feeling overwhelmed, like I was failing. It was so emotional to finally have someone who validated without judgment that you are doing the best you can, but someone who gives you tools to be a better parent for your child. Now we feel confident, at peace, more secure in how we're doing with all of our kids. And my husband and I are getting along better. Working with Jami equipped us to advocate with doctors, teachers, and family. We knew it was a big investment, but it was absolutely worth it. Every penny. I only wish I'd done it sooner. Thank you, Mickey. Isn't that beautiful? I love how Mickey's story captures the heart of what this work is all about. Moving from confusion to clarity, from fear to confidence, from chaos to calm connection. I also love how she pointed out that the skills she learned improved her marriage, and that the tools she used with her emotionally intense child, she could use them effectively with her other children as well. And we all know that's a huge blessing when it can work that way. It helps you develop that consistency in your home. I hope you've enjoyed hearing these parent questions, as well as some helpful feedback. And who knows, maybe these were questions you could relate to or may have asked yourself. As we step into this new season, I want to hear from you. What questions do you have? What challenges are you facing? What wins are you celebrating? Let me know and send your questions through the group. Drop inside that Parenting with Personality Facebook group or send them to Jami at parentingwithpersonality.com and subject line podcast question. And your question could be featured in an upcoming question and answer episode. This podcast is about walking together, learning together, and growing together because you're not alone in this journey. Every season of life and every season of parenting has its own rhythm. Sometimes it's a little chaotic and sometimes you can experience calm, but it's all part of a bigger story that is being written. Excuse me. Just like the changing seasons remind us that growth takes time, remember, so does raising a uniquely wired child. God's not finished with your story or your child. This is just the turning of a page to a new chapter, one filled with deeper understanding, stronger connection, and greater peace. As we close today, I just want to take a moment to say how thankful I am for you. Whether this is your first episode or your 50th, you are part of a community that's learning and growing together, learning to lead with grace, parent with purpose, and find peace even in the middle of chaos. This new season isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about slowing down long enough to notice and see your child's heart and remembering that calm doesn't necessarily mean quiet. It means connection. If you've been walking through a hard season, please know this. You're not failing. You're forming, figuring it out, and growing. Every day that you choose connection over control, compassion over criticism, and curiosity over chaos, you are planting seeds of peace that will grow, even if you can't see it yet. So as we step into this new chapter together, let's keep choosing to show up for our kids, for ourselves, and for the families who are walking this road with us. Here's to season 2, a fresh start, a new chapter, and a community that keeps finding calm in the middle of it all. And if you're personally needing that opportunity for a little reset, the start of season 2 is your perfect opportunity. Let's do this together with a little more hope, heart, and hands-on strategies that will truly work. Until next time, friend, keep calm and parent on. I hope today's episode gave you a breath of fresh air, maybe a bit of hope too. If this encouraged you, would you please take a moment to follow and leave a quick review? It helps this much-needed message of calm and connection reach more families. And if you're looking for additional resources, be sure to visit calmconnectionparenting.org and check out the podcast tab. There you'll find a variety of free resources waiting just for you. Until next week's episode, take a deep breath, grab that fresh cup of coffee, and remember, you've got this. And on the days you don't, well, we're in it together.